This video is intended to help you with some common misconceptions that students have about naming ionic compounds. If you have not already done so, please download the Misconceptions PDF file and try to go through this and answer each question by putting in the correct formula and name for at least each compound and identify what is wrong with each. I am now going to proceed and tell you what the misconception is and try to correct that with each of these. So a student has correctly identified magnesium as a +2 ion, nitrate as a -1, but forgot to put the parentheses around the NO3. And so the correct way to write that would be using the parentheses, and then that compound is known as magnesium nitrate. The cation must go first in the case of the aluminum and the chloride, and so the correct formula for that would be AlCl3, and the correct name aluminum chloride. For Rb2s, that position, the squared position, should be a charge only, and a correct ionic formula will never contain a charge, but Rb is a +1, sulfur is a -2, and so Rb2s would be correct, and that would be called rubidium sulfide. The only problem with number 4 is since there is only one of the polyatomic SO4, there is absolutely no need for parentheses. And silver, being a transition metal, is in a special situation. It never requires a Roman numeral, so the correct name for this compound would be silver sulfate. Calcium 2 oxide looks like calcium would be a transition metal, and while it does have a charge of +2, it is an alkaline earth metal and therefore should not have that. The formula for calcium oxide would be CaO. Iron oxide is not a proper name because iron is a transition metal, and if this is written, we don't know whether they mean that iron has a +2 charge or a +3 charge, which are the most common ionic charges of the iron. So I can't write a proper formula for that. But let's say it was +2, the formula would be FeO. If it was +3, it would be Fe2O3. So therefore that points out the need for a Roman numeral to indicate what the charge of the transition metal is. Mg2S2, here's a student who perhaps knew that sulfide had a -2 charge, magnesium a +2 charge, and they did the crisscross, but they forgot to reduce it down to Mgs. So this is magnesium sulfide, and the correct formula would be Mgs. Number 8, calcium has a +2, nitrogen a -3, so the correct formula would be Ca3, Ca3N2. And that got a little messed up, and my eraser did not work. Sodium and aluminum are two metals. They will never form a compound. You might get a mixture and call it an alloy. Number 10, CaCl2, and you would never show charges in an ionic compound. Fe2O3 is the student meaning that this has a +2 charge. You would never use a Roman numeral in a formula, so that might mean iron 2 oxide, which would be FeO, or perhaps the student meant to write the 2 as a subscript, and that would be iron 3 oxide, and that formula would be the Fe2O3. So just some of the common misconceptions. I hope that is helpful to you.